What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sam here. Just want to let you know that yes, you are reading that timestamp right. This episode is about an hour and 30 minutes long. That's just a little bit longer than usual, but that's just because we had such a great time interviewing our guest, musical artist and founder of the Ology, Odane Whilby. Man, the actual interview was actually over 2 hours long. So we just had to cut that down as much as we could. But don't worry, one day in the future, we'll release to you guys the full extended interview with Odane talking about his musical journey, his family, his favorite musical artists, and much, much more. But don't worry, we got some good parts left in this episode too. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's the good, the bad, and the glory. What is going on? It is episode 23 of The Good, The Bad, and The Glory. It's your boy Sam. Unfortunately, Nikki is not here today, but in her place, we have a returning guest, which is my wife, Naomi Milord. Yes, she is here filling in for Nikki, who unfortunately had a death in her family. Her grandmother passed away last week. So she's just taking time to, be with her family and just remember her grandmother. And we just sent her all her love.
We love you, Nikki.
Her support. Feel free to send through any emails and that will get sent to her. I'm sure she'd love to see that as well. But yes, we are getting on with our Jordan episode. It's number 23.
Whoop, whoop.
It's going to be a great one. We have a special guest who will be joining us later on, Mr. Odane Whilby. But you'll be hearing from him much later on in the podcast. But before we get into that, you know how we do. We're going to talk about our Thanksgivings and our weekends.
Right. So let's talk about our Thanksgiving. I mean, funny enough, we shared a Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's going to be a little interesting this time because usually when it's me and Nikki, sometimes we share weekends, sometimes we have different weekends, but I pretty much spent my weekend and my Thanksgiving with you.
I mean, where else would you be?
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I mean, babe, I'll let you go and talk about it and I'll fill in anywhere where I feel like you left out.
This Thanksgiving was so eventful. Last year we hosted Thanksgiving. This year we went to 3 houses. So we took a jump. We went to your parents' house, or rather we went to Sam's parents' house. And we kind of hung out with them for a bit in the morning. And then we headed to my mom's house, who lives in Long Island. And the traffic was crazy getting there.
Yeah.
It was insane. I didn't understand why people were still on the road by 1 o'clock, but okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I had to cook there. So I cooked, kind of did what I did. I made some salmon. I made some shrimp. I made a berry crisp, which is like a pie, but a healthier version.
Oh,
and
killing.
An apple cinnamon crisp, which is, again, like a pie, but a healthier version. And then it was okay, let's get ready. And we went to my best friend. Hey, Jan, shout outs. We went to her dad's house for Thanksgiving because that is my family, and I could not spend Thanksgiving without seeing them. So we went there for a little bit. Then we drove back to Long Island to my mom's house. She had a really late start to her Thanksgiving. So, I mean, it worked out that we were able to do all 3 houses. So yeah, that was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, which was good. My favorite holiday, as y'all know.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you guys something about Sam.
I'll make sure I ate.
Sam, at every Thanksgiving, it does not matter if it's my mom's house. It doesn't matter if it's our extended family's house. It doesn't matter if it's our Friendsgiving, which we'll get into. Sam will always take dibs on the turkey leg. So he'll have a full plate and this big old turkey leg on top. And I'm always just so are you really going to eat all of that?
The turkey leg is mine. All right. I just need that turkey leg. To me, it just feels like the juiciest part.
It's so strange though. Our very first Thanksgiving together, we were friends. And Sam felt it comfortable enough to be like, oh, can I have the turkey leg? This is the first time you're meeting my mom, whatever. And he's just like, yeah, I want the turkey leg. And we're all looking at him you want the turkey leg, like the biggest part. Like, what?
When you meet people, you gotta let the most important things about you be known right off the bat. And they needed to know that I needed that turkey leg.
Oh God!
Like, it's easy to handle. You just hold on to the bone, and then you just go to town on it.
It's too much. No, thank you.
But yeah, I made sure to eat my fill. Made sure to take leftovers from every house we went to.
Yes, we still have leftovers.
Absolutely. Ain't nothing wrong with eating leftovers up to now. I'm here for it.
I'm not.
I'm here for it.
I'm actually not. I'm here for it. I do like 2 days worth of leftovers. Not even, like, that's a stretch. Like 2 days is a stretch. And by 2 days, I mean like a day, really, because it has to be like 2 meals, like lunch and then dinner, and then I'm pretty much over it. But because we went to so many houses and we have different varieties, I can kind of like mix match what I want to eat.
It's heaven.
So it's cool.
Heaven.
So that was our Thanksgiving. Friday, we went to an event called With the Heart of Thanksgiving. It was a worship session, which was really, really dope. The organizer of it was Kyle Francis, and the church that it was held in was Calvary Church of God.
Yep.
That event was life-changing. Shout outs to Kyle, who's also a member of Destiny Music Group.
Yeah.
And if you guys know, I believe 2 episodes ago, Antia was on here. She's also a member of DMG.
3 episodes. Episode 20.
Episode 20.
That's when we had Antia.
Yeah, episode 20, Antia, who's also a member of DMG. So she was also present. She was
also there.
She was also in the building. She killed. Shout outs to Antia. We love her on this podcast. And Adele Jackson, who absolutely killed.
Yeah.
It was just such a life-changing night. Like, shout outs to all those artists that were there, because it was definitely a life-changing moment. Not only are they beasts vocally, but they have a true heart for worship. So it was really dope to see.
Yeah. And before we move on from there, I just really want to give a special shout out to Calvary Church of God, because they support the podcast out there. And when I was like just entering in and leaving, people would stop me like, "Oh, we listen to the podcast. We love it." Y'all honestly made me feel way more important than I really am. I just had to put that out there, but I really appreciate every single one of you guys who just came up to me and said, "Hey, we're listening to the podcast. We love what you and Nikki are doing." And I love you guys right back. It was awesome to see. And I also want to shout out Marissa.
Shout outs to Marissa.
Shout out Marissa, who led praise and worship that night.
Oh gosh, we love you.
Who did an amazing job.
Killed.
I'm so impressed by what I saw and what I felt from you in that time of worship, and it was a great time. That whole event was honestly dope. Spirit was just moving.
The night was absolutely amazing. Shout outs to everyone that, like Sam said, that goes to that church, that supports the podcast. To Marissa, to Kyle, to Antia, to Adele. You guys were amazing. Keep doing what you guys are doing. It really does affect the kingdom. I left definitely changed from that night. So shout outs to you guys. Thank you again, Kyle, for hosting it and singing and killing and sharing your talents. It was amazing. Moving on to Saturday.
Yeah. This was a long weekend, but a very filled and fun weekend.
Yeah. Saturday, we hosted our 6th Friendsgiving, which was really, really, really cool.
If you guys remember last week, we mentioned Nicole brought up that we have a Friendsgiving with a bunch of our friends. So we've been doing it for, like you just said, babe, the past 6 years. And once again, it was just another time we could all come together, cook some food, laugh, hang out. We played the black version of Heads Up,
which was Celebrity.
Yeah, called Celebrity. It was it's created by Jesse Williams.
Yes,
wait, is that his name?
Yeah, I know who Jesse Williams is. He is the nice, handsome doctor on Grey's Anatomy.
He's aight.
The handsome doctor with the eyes on Grey's Anatomy.
And he got eyes like everybody else. So everybody got eyes.
But yeah, it was really cool. Actually, fun fact about Friendsgiving, most of us are pescatarian. So Jan normally makes a bomb turkey. Like, it's so good. And I was so sad because this is the second year I didn't have it. But she normally makes a bomb turkey. And she had to make like this little itty bitty 6-pound turkey because there was only 2 of us out of everyone who was present that ate meat. So, yeah. I mean,
And this turkey ain't have no turkey legs. So
It did not. It
that
did
tradition
not.
died. It was still good, Jan. It was still tasty. It was still lovely turkey. And best believe I took about half of that turkey home with me. Or I guess I kept it here since we hosted it. But I made sure that was part of my leftovers.
Can I just shout out my little baby Nicholas Charles? Let me tell you guys, Nicholas Charles is the son of Celeste Charles, Leslie World. Shout out to Celeste, who also listened to the podcast, and Terrence Charles. He is like the greatest baby in the world. Like literally during Friendsgiving, he was just like running around doing his own thing, coloring, playing with blocks, having conversations, singing. Like, he was just amazing. So shout out to you, Nicholas. We love you.
And that's like the beautiful thing about doing like a Friendsgiving with like a group of friends, because you get to see it evolve. Like, Nick is about to be 2 years old. Yeah. So when we first started this, he wasn't like here.
He wasn't even walking. He was crawling.
Yeah, and he's like the first kid, to be a part of our Friendsgiving. And, eventually the family is just going to keep growing and more kids are going to be added and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting to see. But after that, I mean, Sunday was church, pretty much. And I'm not sure if there's anything else.
No, Sunday was church and a whole bunch of
tiredness. Tiredness indeed. But we are going to get into these hot topics today.
Let's go.
First and foremost, we are going to give a special shout out to Kevin, Hart, and Nico, who just welcomed their child into the world. Last week, Tuesday, they announced the arrival of their son, Kenzo Cash Hart.
Kenzo.
Yes, Kenzo Cash Hart.
Kenzo with a K or C?
It's with a K.
KCH?
KK.
Oh, K.
Yeah, Cash with a K.
That's a little close.
Because they KKH. A bit softer than the alternative there. But yeah, he said he is healthy and he's already smiling. He said, thank you for all your prayers. And, it's just happy to see after all they've been through earlier this year that they are enjoying the arrival of their brand new baby boy. Yeah. So with
it's good. It's good.
What do you mean? What's all of that?
No, it's always good that, you try to make it work for your family. That's all I'm saying.
No, absolutely. I mean, in my personal opinion, maybe she's laying low for right now, let the baby be born a little bit, and then a year or two, she's like, I ain't forget what you did, and she's out. What you think?
I think that I don't think it's going to be like a year or two. I think it's going to be like, you got about one more time, and now I got this baby, so you're going to put me on some good I'm going to put you on some good child support. And so he got about one more time, and if he does it again, I think she's about to take him for all he has. Right. And I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at it. Girl, do you.
Well, hopefully Kevin Hart is, enjoying a fresh start with his family, and then maybe that's what the son will mark, a fresh start in their relationship.
Yeah.
But shout out to them. What else is going on, babe?
I mean, well, shout outs to also Ray J and Princess, who announced today that they are pregnant.
Oh, yes, they announced on the real. I guess Ray J made the announcement there that they are expecting.
Now, I'm a little attached to their story, right? Because I be watching Love and Hip Hop, every now and then, I watch it, So I'm a little attached. They were trying for some time to get pregnant, and it finally happened, and he is so excited. He says that he wants a little girl first, which shocked me. But he did say that he does not want a miniature version of himself, which then I understood why he wanted a girl first. But yeah, congratulations to Ray J and Princess. We pray that the pregnancy is very smooth. So yeah, what else is going on?
Well, it seems like babies are everywhere. And speaking of babies, one of America's two babies for the past 8 years, prior to number 45 getting into office, I'm referring to Malia Obama.
Oh boy.
There were some videos of her that surfaced online within the past week. And now one of these videos, babe, do you happen to see any of these videos by any chance?
I did not.
You know what? I'm gonna send it to you right now, and I just want to see your thoughts. And,
I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
And reaction to this. You have just seen the video, babe, what are your thoughts on? So, for those who haven't seen the video, there was a video that was briefly circulating of Malia Obama blowing smoke rings. Now we don't know what she's smoking.
Exactly.
Okay, we have no idea what it could be.
It could be hookah.
It could be hookah in her dorm room. They could have set
common.
up a hookah.
It's common.
Yeah.
It's very common for the college saints. I'm not, saying do it, but I'm just saying it's common.
Right.
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not fair. Like, cause for me, right, in college, and I didn't go away to college, but in college, I know I was doing things that I didn't necessarily want my mother to know, right? And it was like, let me just, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. And I just don't need my mom finding out. The girl can't live. Like, she's just trying to have a normal college experience. And the world is snitching on her. It's not even like her sister or like, her dorm room, like, roommate is like, yo, maybe.
Well, I mean, there had to be a dorm room roommate that took that.
That's true.
Video
but what I'm
of
saying
her.
is that the whole world is snitching on her. Like, she can't live. Like, she's. Like, her father's finding out from, like, the world.
That's crazy, right? Like your dad finds out about your stuff on TV.
Son, you got a whole world of snitches. Like, you're not even... It's not fair. It's not fair. I mean, maybe in the long haul, that'll keep her from doing certain things or going down a certain path. Maybe it's holding her accountable. But I just feel like it's not
maybe it'll make her go crazy.
Right. It's not allowing her to make the mistakes that, you and I have probably made in college. Well, me, because you were really good. But it's not allowing her that same opportunity. Like, mistakes allow you to grow. And it's kind of like, if everywhere I turn, somebody is snitching on me, it's like, dag, I can't live my life. Because if I'm not mistaken, there was also another video of her kissing her boyfriend.
Kissing a guy. Maybe it is her boyfriend.
Or a guy.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, what if she wasn't ready to tell her parents that she was dating this guy? Now the world is again snitching on her. And she has to go home and have this conversation about this guy that she is seen kissing. But she may not thought it was that serious to bring it to her parents. It's like, we're not allowing her to live, y'all. Just let her live. Like, if you see Malia, please just turn around and let the girl live. Let her live.
It's true. But, I mean, at the same time, we do the same thing with celebrities. If we saw Kylie Jenner, let's say Kylie Jenner was single and she was kissing on somebody.
That's different.
We'd be like, hey, what's going on? And Kylie's like, what, 13?
She's actually 19.
How old was she when Tiger dated her? Like 10?
Yeah. She was Tiger. But my whole thing is that it's a little different, right? Because if we saw Kylie Jenner, it'd be like, oh, a Kardashian. Oh, let me get money from TMZ because, they worth mad money. Like, let me, sell the story. It's like, for me, it doesn't equate like snitching on Malia. Like, her time of being in the White House is done. It's over. Like, why does she still have to carry that burden of being like the president's daughter? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of like she didn't have a normal childhood. Like, she had to live in the White House. She spent most of her years in the White House. So now she's in college and it's probably a new experience for her where it's like, oh my gosh, all these things, these new things, but it's not fair that we keep putting that same burden on her. Because it's not like, if it was Kylie Jenner, we would all be like, oh, she dated somebody, oh, snap.
Right.
Everybody who's sharing it is like, oh, the president's daughter. She's kissing people. Oh my gosh, she's blowing smoke rings. Like, it's like, okay, but if we saw Kylie Jenner kissing someone, we'd be like, oh my gosh, that's the new hot tea. All right, she's seeing, this person. Or, oh my gosh, she's kissing this person.
That's true. It probably didn't help that Obama pretty much seemed to live like this blameless presidency as well.
That's true.
Like, there was no Monica Lewinsky's or maybe Mariah Lucretas, I don't know. But in his case, if it would be. But, it could be that contrast. So people see, they were the first babies of the White House. And it's not their fault that we also would love to live in a world where they were still the first family.
But they're adults. Like, they're in college, or she's in college. The youngest one is not in college. The younger one, right?
I don't believe so.
Well, she's in college and she's an adult. Like, she's allowed to live an adult life. I personally believe once you hit 18, you are legal to do.
Nah, they still babies.
They
could be 40 years old and they still be babies.
Oh gosh, we know what kind of father you're going to be, but no, like you're at 18, like you're legally able to sign like legally binding contracts. Like you can lease a car. There's so many things you can do at 18 that makes you an adult. Now, obviously there's some like, to some degree, your maturity also makes you an adult, but I feel like she is exploring her adulthood. She's adulting. Like she's decided, because for all we know, that could have been the first time she tried it and she was like, oh, I hate it. Oh, I'm glad
she was blowing smoke rings. She's a pro. She was a pro in that video. That's the one thing about it. You know she's...
Listen, I'm trying to give Malia the benefit of the doubt out here, okay?
This was a lie. Unless there's something in those Obama jeans.
Listen,
her first puff and she was blowing smoke rings. That's pretty impressive.
Listen, I'm just saying it could have been the second or third time. She could have been deciphering whether or not this is the lifestyle she's trying to live.
She looked like she was putting on a clinic for whoever was filming her. She was demonstrating the way.
Listen, you're
to
in
blow
college.
Them smoke
you're
rings.
Gonna experiment. You're gonna do things. It's college.
No, that is true. That is true. But the one other thing I would say about the kissing video, is she's making out with this dude, and this goes for both Obama children. I would love to see them with a little bit more chocolate in their lives, just a little bit more.
Let them live.
You know, I mean, granted, I think Malia goes to Harvard.
Right.
Maybe there isn't a lot of chocolate there, but
there could be. Let's not discredit our people. There
that
could be
is
a
true.
good amount of people or minorities. They may not be chocolate, but there's probably a good amount of minorities in Harvard that she could pick from. That's true.
Oh.
But I mean, and write in and let me know if I'm wrong, listeners. I don't know how much chocolate actually works in the White House, right? So you could spend your whole life seeing a whole lot of milk and you're like,
that is
true.
Okay,
this is what life is. There's a lot of milk in this world.
Well, look, college, as Malia's showing us, is a time for experimenting. So she was used to a lot of milk, got a little bit of chocolate, a little spice.
Listen, she's figuring it out, okay? She lived a whole life with, like, security and all that. She's trying to live her life. Malia, I'm here for you, girl. Live your life. Do what you do.
Okay, and Uncle Sam is watching, all right? You're still babies. Y'all still babies. But that was the Obamas. What else is currently going on in Hot Topics?
Well, seems like, with babies, there's also love.
Hopefully.
Prayerfully. But yes, there has been a recent engagement. Prince Harry and actress Meghan Markle, who is, maybe you guys have seen her on an episode of Suits, if you watch that show. But she is also biracial. Give it up for the half black, half white sister that snagged her a British man. I'm not mad at you, girl. She's also the first American woman to be engaged to a prince in Britain.
Wow. Americans moving on up.
Yo, we out here.
Yeah.
We out here.
Now, I was scrolling through Twitter. Black Twitter seemed to be thrilled about this.
Of course.
Saying that her family gonna be teaching the royal family the electric slide.
Fried chicken.
And stuff like that. It's some melanin getting into the royal family. So it seems like Britain may be the place to go in the near future, but definitely I always really like seeing interracial couples and things like that.
Me too.
I feel like it marks a progression in our society.
Yeah, I'm here
so
for
to speak.
I'm also really glad that it's something that it's not just like your New York City interracial couple. Like, this is like royalty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it does show that maybe possibly we're like, getting to a better place. That's my hope anyway, that it's like a symbol of like, listen, we can just come together.
Ooh,
like,
what if we get another white president, but he's married to a black woman?
I'm saying I'm here for it. Like, I'm here for it.
That would
be a voice
quite
for the people.
Yeah.
She'll be a voice for the people, because I feel like you can't speak on something you haven't experienced. And I feel like, certain African American women, certain African American men, we can speak on things because we've experienced them. And so if that happened, I'm here for it. So I feel like she's going to go up in the palace and she's going to be like, listen, you can't be having only black people clean this palace, okay? Because we are smart enough to be, you know, helping out with the finances and the gold and the treasures and all that good stuff, whatever they do in the palace. But I'm here for it. Like, I congratulate them. So, reportedly from CNN, Prince Harry designed her ring. It has a gold band for all the ladies that are into, you know, rings and things, you know. It has a gold band and features a large diamond from Botswana and 2 smaller outer diamonds from the personal collection of Harry's late mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. Now that is deep.
All that terminology was too rich for me to understand. I was confused. It was a what?
It was a gold band, and it has a large diamond from a place called Botswana.
Cha-ching.
And 2 smaller outer diamonds
Cha-ching,
from
cha-ching.
the personal collection of Harry's late mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. Now, honestly...
Wow. Wait, he gave her something from his late mother.
Yes,
wow.
2 small. So there's a big old diamond, and he was like, "Nah, baby, that's not enough." Well, he didn't say, "Nah, baby, that's not enough." He was like, "No."
You don't know if his vernacular changed a little bit hanging with her. Nah,
said, "No,
baby,
sweetheart.
nah, boo.
Darling, my love, no. 1 diamond is not enough. Let me give you 2 extra diamonds from my mother, and you know it's of coin and it's of worth. So let me put it on this gold band, which is pure gold. I think it's a beautiful thing when a man can pick out your ring. Sam picked out my ring.
I did.
I love my ring. But I think it's a beautiful thing that he had a specific thing in mind for her, like designed.
Yeah, I mean, he had to do it big. Of course, everyone's gonna be staring at that rock with he's such high profile. So you got to do it big when you're someone of his status.
But yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for the engagement. I think it's an amazing thing when 2 people find love.
But he's got to seal the deal. It ain't enough just to give her the ring.
It's true.
All right, he can't be Jennifer Hudson.
Let's not.
This woman, the 10-year engagement. We're not here with it. Or else the Molly Music to the world.
Let's not.
Will come and snatch up Mrs. Meghan Markle. So Prince Harry, handle your business. I need to see her in a wedding dress by the end of next year.
I don't think he'll let it go.
Yeah, I think reportedly, the wedding is set for spring.
Yeah, 2018 at a palace, at the Buckingham Palace. Don't quote me on that, but at a palace. That is what I know. I wonder if like her family is like, holy crap. We have to be like decked out and like what if she's like, I
mean, she's an actress, so it's not like they're coming from nowhere per se,
But she was an unknown actress until she started dating him.
Really unknown? You think so?
I don't think she was like known. Like I don't think she was like Angelina Jolie. Like,
oh yeah, I don't think she's on that level. It's not like they coming, like, let's say, not like somebody from the hood, is on the cover, like.
But what I'm saying is, what if she got like, I got some family members that I'm like,
I wonder which side she's closest to. She's close to the black side. I mean, there's some family members that might not get that invite. You think she's telling like Prince Harry, like, all right, this uncle, we gotta make the time 2 hours early, so that he can make his flight, because he gonna be late. Like, you think she gotta do all of that?
Honestly, I wish I was a fly on the wall. Like, I wish I knew her personally to be like, how does this work for you? Because I know when we were getting married, it was like, okay, this uncle can't be next to this person. This cousin can't be like, let's just, okay.
You gotta see how this uncle drinks.
Yeah, like, let's just, but if she does have family members like that, which, she may not, she may come from an upper class like family.
That's true.
That they just don't endure like certain things like that, or they're very like put on in public. Because my family ain't like that. We ain't put on for nobody. They weren't here for that on my wedding day. Like,
if I could just see a 10-15 second clip of Prince Harry doing the wobble, I'm good. All right, I'm good for the year.
I just feel like, what if he like I'm also very interested as to like his taste. Like, was he always into African American women?
Well, here's the thing. She's a little bit on the lighter, like the very lighter side. Like if you look at the hand,
but
like
but
yeah.
For Caucasian women, now as a woman, right?
Okay, yes.
I look at it like this, right? You always like when you have someone who's biracial and they are like, white and black. I feel like like, yeah, she's like you know that there's some like African American in her, some more of that by her hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then with a purely like Caucasian woman, they have like really like just like this kind of like pin straight, like thin hair. Some have like a little curl to it, like a little bounce.
Yeah.
So I just wonder like if she's like natural, like if she has like that naturally wild hair, and he was just like, oh my god, or
You
like
think
I
she
want to
go
know.
to sleep with a head tie?
That's what I'm saying. Like, does she wear a bonnet? Like, like what is it? Like, I personally feel like I embrace that part of like being an African American woman, where it's like, yes, I need my satin pillowcase, I need my bonnet, I need my head tie. I mean, So it's kind
yes, I do.
So for me, I'm like, man, are they gonna like, does she have to like sleep on like a diamond encrusted pillow, and like she can't do her satin pillow? Like, how does it work for her? So I'm very curious as to see like how this plays out, and I hope like that she can do like interviews. Can she still be an actress after being a princess?
That is interesting as well.
Because she's considered a princess, right? When she marries,
I believe so.
So it's like, can you still work when you're a princess? Like, is she like an African American woman who's like, or that African American side of her? Is it like, no, I'm independent, I want to work? Like, did she think about all these things? I personally feel like if there was any, and I hope to God that this doesn't happen, that they really do go through and they get married and things work out for them. But in the event that it doesn't, God forbid, if she would be the one to be like, actually, I like working, I like being independent, I don't think I'm cut out for a life where people serve me day in and day out, or I gotta make appearances, or I always gotta be put on,
I'm sure with the magnitude of being a princess, that stuff they had to have discussed before this moment.
I would hope so, because some people don't talk about it. Some people don't talk about it. It's like, all right, we'll get there when we get there.
I'm pretty sure his royal advisors must have brought that up.
Right.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, we wish all the best to you guys.
Yeah.
Well, like they listen to this podcast. Like, we wish the best to you.
Yeah.
But
we know y'all
we wish
listening.
the best. We wish the best to you guys, and we can't wait for your biracial babies to come through.
Would it be biracial or like quadracial? Feels like a fourth. I don't know how any of this works.
The baby will be 75% Caucasian, 25% black.
Yeah.
But that 25%, we be hitting with our genes, like boom, bam,
Yeah.
So, yes, all the best to you guys. Congratulations again. And moving on to something a little different, but I think is so important, is to highlight someone who wrote in, and actually they wrote in before, to the show, expressing what the show has done for their lives. And we want to shout out Siobhan Wilmot Dunbar. She's personally someone I love to pieces. And the email that she wrote was so moving, because, sometimes you think, it's a podcast, we're talking about hot topics, we give you a little juice at the end. But no, what she said really did move us, and we really are grateful that you wrote in. And if anyone else has feel like this podcast has changed their lives in some way, I mean, we definitely want to hear about it. We want to shout you out. We want to connect with you in some way. So Siobhan, thank you so much for writing in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We love hearing from all of you guys, sending those emails. Tell us how we're doing, how you've been feeling about our guests. Definitely feel free to write in about Odane too, who you will be hearing from in just a little bit. But we really love hearing from you guys. So guys, stay tuned. After this short little break, we will be joined by Mr. Odane Whilby. All right, guys, we are back, and we have a very special guest with us.
Yeah.
It is the one and only musical artist, Odane Whilby. Welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here, man.
So we ask this question every time a guest comes on the show. We always ask them who is and their name. So we're going to ask you, who is Odane Whilby?
Who is Odane Whilby? Odane Whilby, at this point in my life, is a follower of Christ, a husband, a father, and everything else that comes with that. I feel like that's pretty much how I define myself now. I'm an artist. Everything is just connected to those three things. I live on that. So that's how I introduce myself.
And shout out to your family. You said you're a father. You have a daughter, correct?
Yeah. I got one on the way, too. I got another girl on the way.
Ooh,
Oh, that is awesome.
girls.
Wow,
Yeah,
2 girls.
Yeah, man.
Gonna get your shotgun ready?
I've been got my shotgun ready.
All right, so let's get into it because you do many things. Okay, if someone searches you online, they'll see a lot of videos of you doing music, of course.
Yeah.
They'll also will definitely see the Ology,
Yes.
which you are the founder of. If I'm correct.
The founder. Doesn't make you sound older.
The
founder.
The founder.
In 1866.
And I believe we have mentioned the Ology on the show before. One time I was out there with my boy Matt T.
Yeah, man.
He was performing there. It's why don't you tell the listeners about what the Ology is and how it came to be?
All right. The Ology is a platform for Christian artists. I wanted to open up a platform and give a space to artists, Christian artists specifically, for them to be themselves. I say it all the time. I want the Ology to be a place where Kendrick Lamar can be on the same stage as the Mississippi Mass Choir. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, where we have that discussion through art, that appreciation of each other through in that safe space.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had an array of different artists that are believers, not doing praise and worship music, but doing music that is true to them and honest to them, and doing art that is true to them and honest to what they are about and what they believe. And it's always a good time, though. I feel like it's always a good time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful to God for that, because it could really go the other way. Sometimes we had some mix. The different artists bring in different crowds.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And so, some people know that an artist that they like is going to be there, and then they come with that artist, and it's like, they come and they bump into an artist that they're not necessarily listening to or would consider right for this situation. The fact that people leave, with a good taste in their mouth, I guess, to say, is a blessing. I think if you want to experience it, you just need to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to come out. Every show, every first Saturday is its own organic thing. The artists come together, the crowd is there, and that makes the night what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's never like this formula, like, got to be this way. It's just who's there makes the night.
So what age did you or not what age, but when did you decide, or what made you decide, you know what, I'm going to do the Ology. I'm going to create this platform for artists to come together. What was the defining moment for you?
Well, do podcasts allow for the long story? Or
Yeah,
Absolutely. The whole thing.
I was doing a thing called the Bruckner Session. So this event, the Bruckner Session, was through Lehman College, and I would work with aspiring artists that were there, that went to the school and actually were around the area. The director there of Lehman Stages, Dante Alberti, he saw me do a couple shows. We had a couple conversations. I was basically at the point as an independent artist where I was just doing everything. I was trying to be everywhere. I was doing all this, what I call the pay to play shows where you gotta, you know the ones where you gotta be and I had to come back to that, because it does, I have good peoples that do that, and that's their hustle and that's their grind. But I got to a place where it was just I got to do something different, and I wanted to help people. I just wanted to help artists. Like I wanted them to help navigate. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it's like, I'm here. I'm not, I'm not famous. I haven't made it. But like, if you don't have to go to this crap, I would definitely, like I could help people do that and give people the information I didn't have. And so that was a conversation. And so he was like, you know what, we're doing something. I want you to be part of it. And eventually I became, started like directing it. And out of that, so that was basically like The Voice or something like that. Like kind of like, they would come in and we would sit down and we kind of discuss, what they wanted to do as artists. And I would see their music. Sometimes, like, I don't know how many people's songs I've written on that I ain't got credit for. But we were doing that for about 3 years, so you can just imagine, like we did that monthly, so every third Thursday. So, like, I was working with different people, helping them, put together their songs, arrange music, arrange their performance. So we would work for, like, a month. And then the artists these artists that were like aspiring artists would do their show, and I would call people that I know that were like professionals and do, and we would make a show of it. So it would be like the professionals and these new artists. So what happened is that the new artists would bring their family and their cousins in them, and because it's all this like newness,
right?
And then it provided a crowd for the artists, because once you get into a certain like place as an artist, independent artist, like you kind of burn out the home crowd. Like 2 years in, you kind of burn out the home crowd. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so like you're really trying to build an audience that's like this fan base that's like, they're gonna come out and you're gonna buy whatever you do, and it's rough. That's the real test of your commitment to whatever you're doing.
Right.
So when you call your aunts and your cousins and they not coming out no more, they're like, nah, we not paying no more for shows. I didn't see it. I didn't heard all your songs. I know all your songs, things like that. So, but it was good to be able to get them in front of a crowd that was brand new ears and and with these people that were coming to hear these artists, and it was free for them, and it was, we paid just to keep the lights on, and had, the overhead stuff, and that, it was, I think it was like $5 or $10, something like that. And it just kind of cultured me and started getting my brain working around like just doing things differently. And what was more, the event itself being the brand name, like you had the underground, Ron Grant and Friends, and that was an event that like you didn't even know who was gonna be there, but like you just went because the event itself, brought people in, and it gave opportunity to artists to be heard.
Right.
And so, like, that for me, I felt that was the way to do things. And so, what happened is Hurricane Sandy came through the area. So the same spot I do my Haven at, that's where I did the Bruckner sessions at.
Gotcha.
Cool. So that's like a long-standing relationship.
Right, exactly. So like the manager that's there now wasn't even a manager. That like the owner was like, I think she was working there. Like, and one of the co-owners was working there at the time. So we had a relationship with those guys from when they were just working there.
Wow. So
the hurricane came through, washed out the whole area, because that area is like a basin. So the room, if you see the room, like there's still watermarks like along the ceiling.
Wow.
Really? Like just below the ceiling. So like all their equipment, all that stuff. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was rough for me at that time, because that was like the beginning of, I was going through a stage of like homelessness. I was in and out of homelessness I was homeless for 7 years.
Wow.
Like it was like something that my family and I, we kind of deal with it now like differently, but we was just like squatting, and we didn't have a place to stay. We was just going from place to place. And so like I was in college like that. I met my wife homeless. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm sticking with you.
She the real one.
She a real one.
She the real
You know what I mean? Like, times when I was like, staying in my car. I got an overnight job so I could sleep at the job. That wasn't the reason why I got the overnight. That was one of the benefits. Like, my regular shift was 8 to 4. And so I would take overnight shifts. It was a group home, so I would take overnight shifts. And so, like, the way we would work is like, I'd be like, yo, let me knock off like 4 hours, and I got you. I'll take care of whatever you got to do. And we do that. Because the guys would go to sleep. Like, I was working with older guys, and so guys would go to sleep. It was basically you kind of just staying up. just in case they got up. So you work with your coworker, we work things out. And that's how I did things, man. I was going to work 8 to 4. I would leave at 4, hustle, do the artist thing, blah, 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 and then get back to work for overnight.
So you like fully committed to the artist life. Like you were just like
yeah, I mean I had to quit that job before I really said I was like, you know, this is it. I'm gonna really be a full-time musician, full-time artist, you know, commit fully to this and get to that place. And that was a big step. That was a big like faith leap. I did that. I worked there up until I got married.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the conversation went, and we're going to go off a tangent, but the conversation went with my wife was like, all right, babe. She's like, I believe in you. I want you to do your music. I want you to pursue your artistry. And she's a musician as well. And she's a singer. She's a songwriter as well.
That's so cool.
You see her collecting monies at the front, but she's dope.
Wow.
She be chilling. She just, you know, she just be chilling sometimes. I'm like, babe, and you get up on there. But anyway, yeah, she's amazing. So, but she was saying that she wanted me to push. So I said, all right, you know what? I'm really going to do it. You believe in me? I'm going to do it. So I quit my job.
Wow.
You know, we had a wedding that went from 75 people on each side, $150, you know, all together.
Yeah.
To like almost 200 and some people.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then like
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
You know, God is good. We paid everything off that day.
Awesome.
People came to money, like all the money came. So I was like, we were in a good place. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it was a good place. And then the Friday before that, they let go my wife from her job.
Oh my God.
Bro, I was just like,
but you said the Friday before your wedding?
The Friday before my wedding.
It's something about Fridays, yo.
Yeah.
So my wedding was on a Friday. And
Wow.
like the Friday before, they let go.
Oh,
so we were just looking at each other like, you know, because everything was in motion. I had quit my job. I was like,
yeah.
It's like, can't go back.
Right.
No, we know that.
Like, yo, I was just kidding, guys. I was just kidding. Nah, it was over. So at that point, you know, we were just trying to figure things out. And like, I mean, long story short, God's provider. But like before that, we were doing Ology around that time. So Ology had just started. This is a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. But I guess the really, really significant moment. Somebody had I don't know if you guys might know, but there's Pastor Darryl Young out in Dobbs Ferry.
No.
Oh yes, you do know Pastor Darryl Young. That is where Jan was going to church.
Oh,
that's Nasha
okay.
Jash's
Not Freedom.
Yeah, Free.
Yeah, that's the church.
Right, exactly. So he had prophesied to me before, and I'm not really like one of those guys that be like chasing down prophets. I run away from prophets, especially the guys that like really like legit. And he just called me that night, man, and he told me, he said, God wants you to put down the music. It was a lot of stuff. So the significant thing was put down music. Say I was going to be doing something that people was going to say it was different as far as ministry, and then he said that my first kid was going to be a girl.
Wow.
So like I was like, this Negro. I'm really like, I'm like, nah, bro. You getting a little specific, and then it's like, you got 50-50 chance, bro. Like,
wow. Wait, were you pregnant at the time?
Nah, I wasn't even. We weren't. This is before I got married, so I was getting ready to get married.
Wow.
And this is when we were living in a hotel. I was living in a hotel at the time, in Yonkers, and there was a whole lot of things going on at the time. God was just dealing with me. Because like I said, I was this big hurricane going around trying to do everything, be everywhere.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like the music that I do is, you know, like I do praise and worship. I write praise and worship music, but I also write music. I do what comes to me was real to me. And so like I perform in different venues. So I was doing both. Like I was in church doing songs that were appropriate for the congregational situation, and then I was in different situations like lounges or wherever they would let me play.
Right.
I was everywhere. And so I was meeting different people on both sides. And I was connected with different people on both sides. I was just everywhere doing everything as much as I could. And I was a hurricane. I was burning out, you know. And that was a really crazy time for me. Because I guess I was just like, the fear is kind of pushing you. Like the age is getting up. I'm like, I'm 24, 25, and like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's not like I'm a really good looking dude. So I'm really out of like the industry's, pickings. Like, you know what I'm saying? I kind of missed that part. So it's like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'm just gonna try to do everything I can just to kind of get it and make it. And I had there was a song that was on. I can't even remember the name of the artist, but we would listen to it every day at work. It was on Z100 all the time, and the artist was from Yonkers.
Oh wow!
And so I was getting on a train one day, and I saw the artist, and I was just like, and I was getting ready to. I don't know where I was coming from. I can't even remember. I was either going to the city, or I was definitely going to the city. Odds are I would be coming from work because I was always trying to work. I was working and homeless. That's life. So, but yeah. So I got on the train. I saw the dude, and it was like on the platform. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a lot, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get back to Daryl and the prophecy and all that stuff. How everything happened, but all these things came together at that time. Was like I seen the dude on the platform. And this is when I'm just running. I'm tired. I'm trying to get to another gig. I'm doing this. Everything's a blur. I literally can't remember right now. Talking to you, the only thing I remember is what happened and what God said to me. Like, yo, God was like, yo, you can't do that. Like, you can't make this guy wake up in the morning, be on the platform with you at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You got your guitar on. You looking like a musician. Like, all this working, all the stuff you doing to kill yourself. You can't make that happen.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, you couldn't do that.
Wow.
And I had to like really just like sit there and like, I got into a conversation with a guy and I spoke to him and like, I was like, you got a radio? Yeah, he got a song on the radio and stuff like that. But like in the conversation, like this guy didn't even know as much as I knew about the industry. And I'm a guy that's not in the industry.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not like I'm not signed nothing like that, but because I've been going around doing so much,
right?
So that it just put a lot of things in perspective for me as to like, yo, you doing all this stuff, and it's like, oh, if it's not what God wants, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter what you're doing,
right?
It don't matter what you know, it don't matter who you know. If it's not what you're supposed to be doing, like, or what God wants for you in the moment, like, yo, that you can't make certain things happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would say that a lot. And I still say that sometimes, and I got to catch myself. Say, yeah, I'm going to make it happen. I'll make it happen. And there's a level of truth to it. God gives a certain autonomy, but at the end of the day, like, yo, God has the final say on everything.
Absolutely.
And so, like, he was leading me in that direction. And so, like, I was dealing with that. And then I heard Daryl say what he said to me. And I was like, no. You know what I mean? I was just like, I was like, nah, bro. I was like, that's not God. And then I was like, I know you're a man of God. I know you pray and stuff like that. I know you try to live right, but you off. And anyways, 'cause in my mind, I'm like, yo, how could God say that? Like, like put down the music. Like, my mom says that I used to dance to the windshield wiper.
Oh, wow.
Like, music is like, it's in and through me, like everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's something that I just don't see. I'm not. And obviously, you guys see me, I'm still doing it.
Right.
So obviously, something had to have been going down. So God really dealt with me, man. And one thing about prophecy, guys, that if anybody listening to this thing, like, that really cares about what I'm saying, one thing about prophecy is that God will talk to you before you get prophesied to. Like, I mean, it's even biblical. Like, God is always dealing with, like, God has dealt with people.
Yeah.
Like, God's not going to bring something brand new to you.
Right.
Wow.
Like, the prophet, like, it's going to resonate with you because God's been dealing with you.
Right.
Yeah.
He's already, coming for your heart. Like, he's already preparing that word.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you got an example like David. David was dealing with Nathan, and Nathan comes in. Like, you gotta look at the story that Nathan tells David after he did what he did with Bathsheba and Uriah. It's like the story he tells him is about sheep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is because God has been dealing with David about that and dealing with who he is as a shepherd, as a person. Like, that, a lot go into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was his character. Was like his whole character was in that.
Yeah.
Who he was That's
Right.
like he always and
Like, you
always
can relate to that.
Yeah.
that would lock in immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
crazy.
Because like if he came in anything else, it would have been like
Yeah.
it might have went over his head. But like David's whole character, everything from the day one has always been David's always been a shepherd.
Yeah. Wow.
That's deep.
You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
That's deep.
And so
Yeah.
God dealt with him right then.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like that's the same thing. Like, you know, God's always been talking to us and, you know, moving us and pushing us and all these different things, all these dreams that you got, they're all God's way of getting you to move.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dream that you got is kind of like, sometimes I feel like it's the thing that gets you moving. And then God got to kind of like, because God allows us to have choice and make decisions. But in order to guide us, you know, he has to put certain things in a way and allow us to do certain things sometimes.
Right.
To me, it seems like a lot of work for God to do. They just kind of like balance the fact that he's sovereign with the fact that he's relinquished and given us the ability to choose
Yeah. Yeah.
decisions, you know, make decisions. So like, let's fast forward because I can get into this, and I'm saying this because I think, you know, what we were talking about was like we were talking about like burnout.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I was definitely in a place. I'm definitely still recovering from burnout.
Wow.
I think I'm still, you know, like it's an up and down thing. And I think at that point I was really burnt out, and I didn't know. Like it was just you just kind of going. You're going, and I had to have a real experience with God
Yeah.
in order for me to get locked in
Wow.
as a believer. Because I'm telling you, like the things that came after that. Like if I didn't have this real experience to kind of be able to go back to and say like, yo, couldn't have been nobody but God.
Right.
Wow.
Like I probably wouldn't be where I am now, or I wouldn't be a believer now. But yeah, so I had the experience with the guy on the train. God spoke to me like clear as day, like you can't do that. Then I had the experience with, you know, Daryl. And so like a couple of weeks later, like I remember it was raining, and I just came in again late. Like I came in late. It was like I don't even know. It was 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm out there grinding. I don't even know what I was doing. That's the thing that like stresses me out. So I come into the hotel. I was trying to go to sleep, but at the time I was reading this 365 day, you know, Bible plan, whatever.
Yeah.
You know those things. So it's like I was on like day 60, something like that. And again, going through the motions kind of like with this stuff. And you know, I promise you it was like a movie, yo. Lightning struck. I'm not kidding. Like it was a bad thunderstorm out there. Like it was just lightning struck, like, you know, power's going in and out.
Wow.
And then my phone, I picked it up and it like glitchy. And it was just like, and it shot from day 60 to day 365.
Wow.
To the last one. Like, it, for some reason, it was like, it just, like, puts me, it
moved you.
Yeah, it moved me all the way up to the end. And the last one, the last scripture was about Moses in the situation where he was in the burning bush. And so Darryl had told me, like, yo, you got to put the music down. God said, you got to put that music down. You know, talking to me about ministry. And so, the lesson plan was all about God telling Moses to put down the rod. And I was like,
You're like, Daryl.
like I can't escape this thing. And so like I'm just reading it because I couldn't. I'm wrestling with it, man. I was wrestling. I was like, yo, God, what are you like?
Wow.
Like this ain't real, you know, like, or you know, like, but it was like I couldn't dismiss it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things where it was like I wanted so bad to just dismiss it and be like, it's nothing and not affecting, but it was affecting me every single day.
Wow.
And it was just eating away at me. So I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Who am I?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm reading the scripture and the teacher's talking about it, and he's saying that God told Moses to throw the rod down, and I kid you not, the lesson was like explaining what the rod represented. The rod represented Moses' natural gifting. This is what it said.
Wow.
Natural gifting. And like, you know, so I'm just like,
Lord.
I'm just like, okay, God.
Yeah, like,
You know,
what can you say after that?
like they say, you know, put it down. And it went on to say like the rod turned into the snake. You guys know the story.
Yeah.
And so when we threw it down, it turned to a snake. And so what the teacher was saying is that represented the curse that comes with the gift that you have. Like that, everybody's gift, like there's a curse on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and there's something that the Bible says that Moses, like, he jumped back, like it scared him. You know, and obviously, like, you know, but it's significant because you're talking about somebody that's like a bushman. You know what I mean? Like that Moses knows about snakes. He's seeing snakes all the time. Wow. So like, you know, it had to be a significant kind of snake to him to be like scared.
Right.
And then the other thing was really crazy was that, and he pulled out, he said, the snake, God told Moses to take the snake up by the tail. Again, Moses is a bushman.
Right.
Yeah.
Bushman, no, you got to secure the head of the snake before you even do none of that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure the snake, because you can pick it up and the snake will snap back.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the most dangerous part of the snake is the head. But because he saw God in this fashion, kind of made him trust you know, the word of God in that moment. I don't know how long it took him to do it, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have, you know, you're reading the word, so it's not really a time frame, because he could be deliberate. He'd be like, yo, maybe I should,
Did I hear right?
Like, is this,
then he walk around,
like, is this bush really on fire?
Yeah.
Like, let me wait till it burns up. Maybe it'll burn up, and then I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let me just, but it wasn't being consumed. That this is, and God is, you know, talking to them, like a voice. Or in that moment, like I'm pretty sure, like you know, the story going to be from hindsight. So Moses could have been going through a whole lot of different things, just thinking about like, yo, you know, how many things he could just be going through in that moment, just thinking about it. But eventually, he just like, you know, ultimately he reaches out and picks the snake up by the tail, and as soon as he did that, the Bible says, as soon as he did that, it became a rod again, it became a staff.
Wow.
And from that moment on, the Bible never refers to that rod as the rod of Moses, but it always refers to it as the rod of God.
Wow.
And so, like, you know, when they get the Red Sea and stuff like that,
right?
Like, after that, it's never referred to as Moses' staff, Moses' rod. So, like, it is significant. Like, God is like, this is what I'm trying to tell you. And, like, again, going back to when people give you a prophecy or prophetic word, like, you got to go to God. Like, it's designed that you go back to God.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Like, God is, like, the vagueness of these prophecies, or the, like, you know, sometimes it feels like it's, like, very abstract or something like that, whatever. Like, God's not giving you all that because God wants relationship with us.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm giving you this thing. I want you to deal with me. Let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. Let's break it down. Let's, you know, what I'm saying to you, I want to say to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, it took a thunderstorm and all that crazy.
Your phone glitching.
My phone glitching. I promise y'all, like I don't have many moments like that, and I'm not like one of them super spooky folk. So, like, for that stuff to happen, I'm just like, yo, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
gotta
like, you know, it was very significant, and yeah, so it brought me to that place where, like, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna trust God.
Yeah.
And what, you know, and what He's gonna do with my artistry and my music and things that I'm doing. I'm not gonna be trying to kill nobody and try to kill myself or you know, burning myself out to just try to make these things happen.
Right.
I'm just like if this is what you want for me, you know, and it's not an easy thing. I'm here right now, you know, still dealing with, you know, this one probably like 4 years later, still wrestling with my trust in God.
Right.
You know, but like I see now that where I wanted to go it wasn't for me.
Wow.
I promise you, like, and it's not like I'm just trying to be like mediocre or content with where I'm at. Like, I honestly, like, I know people in the industry. I know artists that are, you know, like, I know a lot of things now that I did not know at that time.
Right.
I know a lot of like information and insight, like this real people's lives and
Yeah.
gone through things with people.
Yeah.
That I'm saying to myself, like, yo, I can't do that. Like, I don't want that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never want that as much. I'm not saying the industry is not for certain people. I'm just saying, like, yo, go where God takes you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And God will provide for that situation. Like, don't try to push past where, don't try to say, okay, if I get this means that God is with me. Like, nah, bro.
But so crazy. It's such a defining thing because, like, people are attached to the decisions that you make. So, had you gone to that place, like, would we still have the Ology? Would there still be this bridge? Like, would you be Odane the bridge? Like, will we? You know what I mean? Like, bridging and bringing people together in the way that you do at the Ology. I think it's important that we even celebrate those making that decision because it's like. Yeah. You would not have something like the Ology to go to be a part of, you know what I mean? And to have different artists or, some people that come in expecting a certain thing leave like, I wasn't expecting that, but I feel mad full from this whole experience.
Wow. Absolutely. Yeah, that story is a sermon. There's like
that needs to be a book.
Yeah, no, that
needs to be a book. You heard it here first. You got the excerpt of the book here first.
That's chapter 5, y'all just heard.
Yeah, for real.
You gotta get the whole thing.
The lightning storm, but but I mean, literally, like, not even. I think it was the January. I got the call. So this happened in December. I got the call that they were reopening the Burnout Bar and Grill.
Because it shut down because of the hurricane.
It shut down because of the hurricane.
Right.
I got to go all the way back because I went off like 3 times.
Yeah.
It shut down because of the hurricane. They were washed out. And the owners sold it to the guys that were working there, couple people. And so they called the Dante, the director of the University, and it was like, and then they called me and they were like, yo, we need programming. And so like at that time, the weeks before I went to, if you guys know Eli, the I Am Unique. I don't know if you know who he is, but
yes.
So like you guys see that a lot, like the I Am Unique shirts, the unique shirts.
Yeah.
So he did a thing that was like it was an expo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, we need to have this all the time. And like, so originally what I wanted Ology to be was really like that, like, and that's what Ology is, and I got some future things going in the future. We're planning right now. We're putting together that go back to that thing, but it was an expo basically that has everything. I mean, you had live art, you had dancers, you had artists, you had, performances, like music artist performances. Then you had like in the back where people could connect, like. It was just all about like making connections and stuff like that. Like, producers were there and they had their own tables and things like that. And like, vendors, they had their own stuff. And it was just everything. And it was giving people exposure to different things. I was like, yo, this happens all the time. And so when they called me and they said, we need something, I was like, that's what I wanted Ology to be.
Right.
And so, like, I was like, I jumped on it because I was like, yo, I know exactly what to do.
Right.
And he gave me the first Saturday. I was like, gave me a Saturday?
That's a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
So, the rest is like kind of history. It's just like, I can even tell, I have so much from that. Like, again, a lot of learning from, like, just to listen to what God says and what God is doing.
Yeah.
And God will open up what better ways to do what it is that you've been thinking about.
Right.
Like, stop trying to force things.
Yeah.
And listen to people with information and wisdom.
Yep.
Like, just listen to it. You know what I'm saying? And let it process and bring it back to God. And say like, yo, well, what should I do? It's not like you're not sitting there like, I got to do what somebody says.
Right.
Yeah. That's crazy because like, and even in how God like reveals certain things, because let's say before that whole situation went down and he was kind of like, oh, you know what, Odane, you're going to have this platform where all artists could come and you're going to have this spot or whatever. You'd probably be going around like trying to buy a building or something like that or like do all this stuff. Who could set up something like that where someone come to you like, yo,
bro,
you know, we own this place now. We want you to do something. That's crazy.
You hit it on the head, bro. Because that's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
Like, I know that. And that's who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if it was like, you know, if it was something like, Odane, go do this, and this is what you're supposed to do, you know, in order to be successful or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I would be this crazy man trying to make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would do everything. I wouldn't really, like, you know what I'm saying? And God know me. God knows who I am. Like, you hit it on the head, bro. That's exactly what I would have
But
done.
isn't it so crazy? Because you would have done something like that. You probably would have gotten, like, mad hard stops. Like, nothing's panning out. And then you would have been mad upset. Like, yo, God, you told me. And God's like, I did not say go and try to make it happen on your own.
Right.
This is the instruction I gave you. And sometimes we just, like, overexert to be like, nah, we're going to make it happen. All right, let me go do here. And then when things are, like, coming to a head, like, it's feeling like nothing is moving, we're just so angry. We're like, God, this is what you said, and now I feel like nothing is happening.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's exactly, I mean, and I thank God for just taking the wheel. Sometimes he doesn't take the wheel. Sometimes he just let me go and be crazy. And so he can remind me that, like, nah, it's me.
Right.
Like, not you, bro. Like, because you're crazy.
You know, we have other questions for you and stuff like that, but I think we're actually just gonna. I was gonna say go into the glorious thought, but you've kind of covered it pretty much. I think we're just gonna kind of round it out just by just adding to what you said before. So, babe, just introduce the glorious thought and tell people what's the thought for today.
Well, the thought for today was, how do we handle being stretched too thin and being burnt out? When we have a million mental tabs open, what do we do first? How do we say no to things? And are we comfortable with saying no?
So it's pretty much stuff you touched on by giving the example from your life and how you were like burned out all the time. And when I was thinking of this particular like glorious thought and trying to apply it to like my life and things like that, I didn't even go into the perspective of what is the motive behind what sometimes causes us to do a gabillion and one things all the time, in which you kind of touched on. In your case, it was just kind of like, this is what you had this goal, you knew what you wanted to be, you knew where you wanted to go, so you were just doing everything and anything you can to achieve this goal, like taking any gigs, like you're saying, like today you can't even remember what it is you're doing, were doing.
It's crazy.
And stuff like that. I know if I think about myself, there were so many things you were saying that I felt like I could relate to. When you brought up the story about how your wife got let go, like the Friday before y'all got married, I got let go from my job, I think 2 weeks after we got married.
The Friday before, actually, you know, Matt, the Friday before his wedding, he walks in the door and I'm just like, they let you go. Like, I just instantly knew by my spirit. Yeah. And this is after he was like, you know, babe, pursue your dreams, quit your job. Literally, I was like, as you're telling the story, I was like, you know, Lord, all right, there's something to this. There's something to this.
Wow, man.
Like, literally. So it's even a testament, like, it ministers to me to see something like the Ology be birthed out of that. Because for us, we kind of didn't know anyone that has experienced that same or something so similar. And, like, to see where you are, it's definitely, like, a ministry moment for me.
Inspiring. And bringing it back to the glorious thought, I know for me, you know, like, that happening, it was just like, all right, I just gotta go, just gotta try to do anything I can to, you know, provide.
Oh yeah,
like,
that you know, that animal gets turned on quick.
Yeah,
especially I gotta provide, I gotta mention this is like Tasmanian devil in your head, crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, getting to that topic, a million mental tabs open. Usually, when you find yourself doing a whole bunch of things, there's probably a certain motive behind it that might be the wrong motive, or it might not be leading you in the right direction.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I know for me, it's always like, it seems to feel like, at least when it comes to saying no, I feel like this guilt of saying no. It's like, all right, yeah, but I need you to come out to this event. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to be there. All right. But I know I was up at like 7 a.m. doing things that I actually needed to do. And then going out to like work for someone, I'm just like, or work with someone, I'm just like, all right, Lord, I'm going to get here and then I'm tired to do the thing that God is actually calling me to do. But I'm just like, yeah, no, I'll be here. Yeah, no, you need me there? All right, cool. I'm going to do this. All right, cool. Yeah. And then by the time I get home, it's like, whoa, all right, I just did 1,000,001 things. And there was always that guilt until I realized that something similar I said to you, like people are attached to the choices you make.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like by me saying yes to something that I really should have said no to something, how am I harming the next person? How am I affecting their lives in a positive or negative way? And when you care so much about the lives of other people that are attached to you, you're kind of like, nah, I really got to get my life together and get it in order. Mm-hmm. So I know for me, that was like a huge thing. Like, I'm like, all right, you need to stop doing 1,000,001 things and start focusing on the things of God and really like, I mean, it's scripture. Like God says, whatever he gives you, there's not going to be any sorrow added onto it. And that's in Proverbs. So it's like, for me to come and feel mad sorrowful after doing this thing, it's clearly not the thing of the Lord. Like that's not what God wants you to do if you're feeling such a heaviness after coming home, you know?
Yeah. And that, I believe that scripture you were referring to, it was the blessings of the Lord maketh one rich and add no sorrow, something like that. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. And one sign that you can tell when your life is becoming overly cluttered or you're doing too many things you're not supposed to be doing is one, when you are starting to feel that extra burnout, and two, when you're realizing you're not really spending time with God as you should be, or getting closer to him, or even hearing him, or even considering him in the things you're doing, which is for the past, I don't know, 5 months. That's where God has honestly been bringing me. Like, look, you can't do anything without me. Like, you can't. It's all gonna be in vain if I'm not in it. And it took a while for me to start seeing doors like closing, and I'm just like, God, I'm trying to do this. Why can't I get this position here? Why can't I get this position here? Or you find the only time when you do go to God is when you need stuff, which is what I was doing. Like, Frank, God, I need this. God, I need that. And it's like, that's the only time like I was really even considering the Lord in anything. And you know, and sometimes God will close those doors. It's like, yo, I need you, and I need you to know that you need me and not all these other things. Like, these things aren't holding you up. These things aren't providing for you. I'm the only one that can do that. Right. So yeah, that's been the story of my life for like the past year. I guess we can get into, and Odane, I guess you kind of gave the example from your life story, is how do we combat that? How do we escape from getting caught up in all these different things? What worked for you, like to get free from
really
that?
wish I could really break it down. But I think the most important thing is to kind of go easy on yourself. Mm-hmm. like it's hard to do in the moment. It's hard to but like I think I have to. I'm at a place where I'm okay with my. I'm okay with my shortcomings in the sense that I understand that like it's about God's grace.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's about how God's going to glorify himself through even my shortcomings, even through my you know, where I'm just not amazing. You know, like when I don't know. Like, I got another story. But I'm not going to tell the story. It's like real short. The story was I was watching the Olympics, went to the Olympics. One of the ice skaters was skating, you know, like they were just being amazing. And then commentator said this, said that you would never know she was making a mistake because she's so graceful. And that was like another moment, like one of those moments. Like I have like really like specific moments where God was just like, I hear God say like these one thing. Like I don't have God like, you know, speaking to me in my ear like blah 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 blah. It's just like I get a lot of like, yo, listen, you know, like, or like that, or like, you know, those like, and and it's just definitely God, like, this is what I'm talking about. And I felt him say like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about grace. It's like we confuse grace and mercy. Mercy is God's like just ability to forgive us. Like God forgive us. Grace is God's ability to. It's God using us wherever we are of whatever we are
Mm-hmm.
for His glory and for His purpose.
Mm.
And it's not so much like, so God forgives us, and He's cleaning us up, but His grace is just like, wherever you are, I could use you. Whatever you are, I can use you. Make yourself available. Right. And so, like, one of those things that, like, I can only say, like, I can't give you like 16 steps to, like, or 12 steps to, like, get healing from burnout, but I can definitely say that, like, if you remember that God is just like trying to get you to understand that He's using whatever you are.
Right.
Wow.
Like, whatever you are.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the big thing.
Right.
Like, He's using whatever you are.
Right.
And wherever you are.
Right.
And you don't have to do much, but let God do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the dream that you have, the aspirations that you have, the passion that you have, these are all God given.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, follow those dreams, make plans, but always remember who's in control.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember who's in control, and allow God to speak to you.
Right.
Allow God, like, those moments that you have where it's like, it's definitely God.
Yeah.
Just let God be God in those moments.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's,
yeah, he'll lead you through that
Yeah.
through that clutter. And before we move on, just to put a cap on the glorious thought, like the 50 sermons Odane preached just now. Basically, make sure you are following God in what it is that you are doing. He will speak to you when you're doing these maybe that burnout you're feeling while you're doing those million things is God telling you you're doing way too much.
Yeah.
Go back to what it is you feel like God has called you to do. Listen to what He is saying and check your motives behind all the things you are doing and the reasons why you're trying to extend yourself so much. And that's our glorious thought. Yeah. Now, we talked a lot about the Ology. I want to get back to Odane, the artist, because I guess apparently there's something that must have happened for you to pick back the music up again. Seems like there's a certain song that you've been doing a lot, or it has been going around out there. I saw like 2 videos for this song, Ule.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ula.
Am I saying that right?
It's Ula.
Ula, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is this like a single, or are you coming out some new music?
I put it out honestly. Like I said, I haven't really, because I've been very active and proactive about recording music.
Yeah.
Something Nate. I don't know if you know Nate Jones.
Nate Jones.
Nate Jones,
familiar.
Bass player. He does the Taste the Stage.
Do we know?
Taste the Stage.
Yeah,
he's one of the really big influences for me, and like one of the big brothers. Like he inspired me to play bass. Like I started playing bass.
Oh wow!
Like he really is. I was like one of the guys that I saw like first playing bass. I was just like, I'm gonna do that.
Wow!
And then so he was just telling me like, yo, you gotta record your stuff. Make sure that, because it's not so much about like, oh, I gotta have it. I'm trying to put together an album, put music out and stuff like that. But like, it disappears if you don't record it.
Right.
So I've been doing that. The video you probably saw.
I saw the I think it was one in the black and white one, and I saw the So Far Sounds. That's the name of it. So Far Sounds. Yeah.
And again, I mean, even with those, like, I probably we had to turn off these mics, and I just like, I got, like, I'm not that old, but I feel like an old man with some of the things that I see. Like, I just see God doing my life, man. I swear, like, but even that, like, I got a call, like, we should just do. Hey, I sang the song at the Ology, and then the Tennyson, who does our photography and videos and stuff like that. He's like, yo, let's do a video for that. I was just like, all right, whatever. And that's really how that happened. So like, and then all of a sudden it was getting like mad views. I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, this is how you do, like, and part of me was like, again, like I got real like yo, but I saw that it was happening, and it was like the temptation was there. It was like, okay, I think I figured it out. This is how you get a lot of views. It's like, like had to kind of like come back to reality. I again, there are ways to do things properly in business.
Yeah.
Right? Like there are ways to do things properly in business, and we talk about it, and like there's things that I know that I talk to people that are in the industry, and people that I know that they really successful, but it does not work if God is like, no, this is not the way I want you to go.
Right.
Yeah.
I promise you, you can do everything right.
Yeah.
I seen it.
Mm.
I seen it. Like, I will not drop names. I don't do that. But I've seen it. And a lot of people are like, they should be somewhere, but they're not.
Wow, there's just so much to get from everything that literally what you're saying. We're gonna let you get out of here real soon.
Yeah, let me go.
They from the Bronx, y'all.
Yo.
Y'all know the Bronx is like a whole, like you gotta take a plane and a train.
What's up with Brooklyn people? Y'all so like, I'm originally from Westchester. Let me speak on this on the podcast. I'm originally from Westchester, so it's like for us to get up and drive and go somewhere. But it's like my wife is from the Bronx. And if I say Brooklyn, it's like I cursed at her. Like let's go to Brooklyn. What?
Before we even move further, can we shout out your community, your wife, like
she's
your
amazing.
daughter, your brother, who's also he's at the Ology as well.
Yes.
Like your community, like it's amazing to see like your family like back you in such an amazing
your whole
way.
family's out there at the Ology.
It's like I said, like I promise you, man, God is a faithful God, and God will put the people in your lives that you need, no matter what, man, I can't tell you how much my wife is the most amazing individual, like, you know what I'm saying? Like she just like I could not, like Ology does not work without her.
Wow.
Like as far as like how without like God putting her in my life, it would be crazy. Like there would be if without her there would be no Bruntner sessions.
Wow.
There would have been no situation with Lehman. Like this is when we were just friends. Like we were like there's a lot of things that happen like as a result of and like there's kind of that thought of like, oh, this is my soulmate. This is my thing. Like I don't believe in soulmates. I don't believe in, oh, this is the one for you. Mm-hmm. I believe that you have a purpose. And if you walk in the will of God, the person that is walking in the will of God with you or where you're supposed to be going, God, you guys will link up. Because you can marry somebody and have a long-lasting relationship with somebody that's not in the will of God for you.
Yeah.
Because there are principles to make a relationship work.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And it's true. And relationships work.
Yeah. And
some people, they live together for a long time. They sometimes die. But there's something about being with somebody that is walking in the purpose of God with you. And knowing that. And it's just like,
amazing.
And then you still gotta do the work to make the relationship work.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Well, shout outs to your wife.
Man,
shout outs to her.
You got spiritual nuggets, business nuggets, romance nuggets.
We got a whole meal and then some. We had Thanksgiving all over again.
We did.
Right
this is a perfect follow-up for Thanksgiving right here.
My head is already big, y'all. I didn't need to do all that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Odane Whilby. We're going to give you some time to just tell the people. You can shout out the Ology, the next one, which I believe is this coming Saturday, as well as tell the people where to find you on social media if they want to connect with you or anything else.
The Ology is every first Saturday. It's this Saturday, December 2nd, and every first Saturday of the month at the Mott Haven Bar and Grill, 1 Bruntner Boulevard. 1 Bruntner Boulevard. That's 1 BRU and Bruck. How you spell Bruck? BRUCKNER. Don't edit that. I want people to know I'm a real person. You know what I'm saying? Public school education, baby. Boulevard in the Bronx. We open up at 7:30, and the cover is $10.
Awesome. And where can they find you online?
Just Google me. I'm the only Odane Whilby on the planet. And so like that's a blessing. So that anything you need, My social security number. If you Google me, you will probably find it. That's Odane Whilby. That's ODANE WHILBY. Not Willoughby. Wilby.
Wilby. That is great. So, Odane, once again, thank you so much for coming out. Be sure to follow him, show him some love.
Yes, and go to the Ology, people. Support. Go out this Saturday to the Ology.
And how can they connect to the Ology itself?
The Ology you can find on Instagram. The best place to find information is on Instagram. That is the underscore, so the THE underscore Ology. So it's OLOGYBX. So the underscore Ology BX. And that, did I do the pop noise? Sorry.
And there you guys have it. This was episode 23, our Jordan episode. So you already know we had to do it big.
What?
With Odane
the Jordan joint?
Yeah, it was a Jordan episode. As always, you guys can find us at Good Bad Glory. On Instagram, on Twitter. You can search for us on Facebook as well. The Good, the Bad, and the Glory. Please follow us. Once again, my wife is filling in for Nicole, who is normally here.
Shout out to Nicole. I really was looking forward to meeting you, but
next time, no, we gotta have you back again. I didn't get to ask you half the stuff I want to ask you, but so we definitely gotta have you back on the show. So, babe, tell them where they can find you. Dudes, don't be trying to slide in my wife's DM. But babe, please give out your info.
You can find me on Instagram at nay.ohm with 3 E's. That's the only thing I'll give out because Facebook is private to me, and Snapchat, I don't want y'all in my business, so Instagram it is. That's at nay.ohmee.
And you can follow me, Sam, at Oh My Lord, pretty much anywhere, Instagram, Twitter, on Snapchat. I'm Proverbs Boy. That's PROVERBSBOY. Follow me. I love to make new friends. You can also see any new work I'm doing at www.ohmylord.com. That's OHMILORD. I look forward to connecting with you guys. As you guys always know, we love and appreciate your feedback at the Good, the Bad, and the Glory. So definitely email us, goodbadglory@gmail.com. That's goodbadglory@gmail.com. Tell us how you've been loving our guests and loving the show. And if you love it so much, we would definitely appreciate a review. Go on iTunes, legit stop the podcast right now. Go to iTunes, just click the little 5-star button. It's real easy. Just click the 5-star button and leave a review if you like. We'd appreciate it. Yeah. And that's it till next week. Once again, no matter what we talk about, whether it's good or bad, it's all for the glory. See you guys next week.